going on, guys? AJ back here with another video for you. It's race day out here at Whittemore Speedway. It is Michigan's oldest continual running track in the state of Michigan. So this is their 75th year of operating. It's their championship night. We're not gonna lie, kind of have a chip on my shoulder after the last time we were here and not doing so well during the big race, but we've went to work, done our homework in the shop this week, had a couple phone conversations with a couple of our friends down in North Carolina, and this car is completely different than when we were here last time. So I am pretty confident that we'll be a lot better than what we were last time. So I'm really looking forward to today. I think we can have some pretty good speed and we should be able to run up front. So we'll have practice here shortly. It's a little overcast today, so track should be fast, and it's definitely gonna be nice in the car because it won't be a million degrees. So we're gonna enjoy today, have fun, and see if we can't run up front. Top 3 is a goal today, so we're gonna see what we can do and kind of go from there. Our house. So I think they said they got 3.5 inches of rain at the facility here. You can kind of see it coming off the 2 in the, there's a little dip there. So I'm definitely going to try not to get our left sides in that. Car felt better than we have been here, so hopefully we can keep getting better. As Ford Martins lay rubber on the track, it felt a lot better the second run than it did the first run. So we're going to keep hammering away at this thing and see if we can't get better than we are right now. track seems to be gripping up. I feel like we're definitely better than what we were before. I just need to figure out how to drive this thing better and see if we can't go beat Greg. Greg is always tough competition. Greg, Chris, Nick, it's going to be hard to win tonight. So we're going to make a couple adjustments here, go out probably one more set before qualifying, and just kind of see what we can do to get this thing a little bit more drivable. Right now it feels pretty good, but they don't have timing and scoring up, so I don't really know where we're at time-wise. So I'm going to try to hop behind one of these guys who I know are quick and see if we can't keep with them or run them down. And that's just kind of be what our plan for final practice will be. So we'll be with that shortly and just try to get better every time on track. Well, that was eventful. So I knew something was going on just because the adjustment I made to the car should have tightened it up, and me and the 612 were both pretty free on entry, and Chris ended up backing up from Justin. It looks like the oil filter came loose on it, so hopefully it didn't hurt it too bad and he's able to race. Justin unfortunately had an engine failure last time we were here, so you would hate to see for another engine failure 2 races in a row. And just something that happens to those 1250s. Make sure your oil filters are tight and check everything for leaks and whatnot before you leave the shop. So I think we're gonna pretty much call that a practice. They're gonna have some cleaning up to do on the track, and we'll see what we have in qualifying. The one clean lap I got felt pretty good, so once they clean the track up, I think we should be right in the ballpark, and if not, we'll work at it and see where we can go. So we'll be back shortly with qualifying here, probably an hour or so. So we qualified 4th, a little bit slower than what we were running in practice, but I think that's due to the sun coming out. So car felt good. I'm not one to fire off with a ton of speed, and that's something I've been working on a lot. So we're gonna go out here for the heat race, try to either, if it looks okay, we're gonna go to the front. If not, we're gonna back out of it because we're not fighting for points here. I don't want to mess anybody's points night up, so we'll see what we can do here in the heat race, and hopefully we can get out front before those other just wrapped up the heat race. It was a pretty good race. We got bottlenecked at the start a little bit. It's just a factor of them doing full field inverts, which I find it pretty fun when we do inverts like that. It just kind of turns into who can get to the front fastest. And I didn't get such a great start, so I got kind of freight trained on the outside by those guys. Nick, Greg, and Chris were all able to get through it quicker than I was, and then we learned some stuff running the top. I have struggled running the top here pretty much my whole career, so it was good to run some good laps up there. I thought once we had that yellow that we were keeping good pace. Congrats to Nick on his heat race win, and it looked like it was a good battle between Chris and Greg there. So hopefully we can throw in a good adjustment at this for the feature, and if not meet our goal as a top 3, just kind of running a good race. So that's what we're going to try to do. Have fun, run a good race, finish top 3. That's all I can really ask for. Right here the video like freezes, but it keeps capturing the audio, so I don't know why that is. It worked fine all day, and it ended up missing a really good battle that we had for 2nd through 4th. So this video is courtesy of Kathy and Kevin Peak, which thank you to them for sending this to me so that I could put it in here for you guys. It's not focused on me entirely, but you can see the battle we're having for 2nd through 4th. It's pretty good battle. I thought we were putting on a good show for the fans, and everybody I've talked to said it was a really, really fun race to watch. I have a tendency to be super tentative behind the wheel once I get back in traffic, and I have really been working on that the last probably 5-6 races on just kind of standing my ground, and if I'm not going to be one to just ride back there and watch the leader drive off into the sunset. So I got into Chris a couple times. There was one time I feel bad about, and I apologize for it, but I didn't wreck him. I didn't end up wrecking anybody. So to me, it's all fair. These legend cars, when you're so close in times, there's not a lot you can do to pass. The top side this night was not great because the track got cold, so it got greasy, and I guess somebody was spraying oil. I don't know who it was. I'm not going to accuse anybody of anything. So I don't think that played into the track being like it was. To me, every time it gets cold like this, the track gets greasy. So, I mean, we've raced here plenty of times when it's been cool like this, and we threw an adjustment to tighten the car up just as a preventative measure, and it seemed to really help. We had the car rolling pretty good, entry through center. It was a little loose off, but everybody was loose off. So I think it was just one of those nights where the track was greasy and it didn't matter. We had a lot of rain this past week, and it washed all the rubber off the track. So the track was a little slower this day, and obviously we screwed up in qualifying, so our times were not great, but we did get down into the sixes in practice, so it was a little bit off of what we were running during the Nationals race. Right here, I don't know what happened, but I think it was just a racing deal. Chris and Nick got together, and then unfortunately Chris has some motor issues, which sucks because we were having a really good battle for the three of us. And right here, Nick gets a really, really good start. In the car, I was cheering him on because the high side was not great, and the fact that he was able to get around Greg there was pretty awesome sitting behind the wheel. So we have a really good battle here, and I really need to work on my restarts because they have not been great, and that's no secret. It's been well documented that my restarts have been awful. They were a little bit better this night, but not shifting is not the way to go. So those guys were able to get a really, really good jump on me the first lap or so before I could get wound up, and I think that was the main cause of me not getting great restarts, is just because I don't have a ton of experience with restarts or starts, and those guys ate me alive. So credit to Greg, Chris, and Nick for being good, bringing everything they have every race. Nick and I have a really, really good battle here, and from what everybody has said, that was a really fun race to watch. So when the announcer and the flagman and everybody from the track comes and shakes your hand after the race on the front stretch, it feels good as a driver knowing that you put on a good show. And even though it wasn't for the lead, it gave the fans something to cheer on and root for. So I had really fun. Nick and I have always raced each other really well. Chris and I have always raced each other really well. So I think we're all good. I know Chris was a little upset, but to me it wasn't anything too bad. I didn't wreck anybody, and right here I feel really bad for Justin. That's his second fender that he lost during the race. Thankfully nobody hit it, but Justin seemed to have a rough night, but I was glad that he was able to finish top 5. So this is the last restart here. There's around 7 to go, I want to say 8 to go. Greg gets a lot better restart here, so Nick isn't able to get as good of a run on the high side. I end up getting pretty loose coming off of 2 and slip up there, but we definitely had a really good car. I was very happy with the improvement that we made from the first time we were there this year, because the first time we were there, we were okay. We weren't as good as the Canadian guys, but we were still pretty okay. I thought we were leaps and bounds better this night than we were then. That's hats off to Miller Performance. They hooked us up with a new setup, and it really paid off. So if anybody's looking for setups and whatnot, definitely give Zach over there a phone call, and he'll try to make you faster too. So we end up finishing 3rd here, and I will end up jumping in here after this to tell you our recap right after the race, my initial thoughts. Well, guys, we just finished up the feature. It was a pretty fun race for me. I got the lead pretty early. I capitalized on a little mistake by the 65 coming off a 2 on the first lap and was able to get out front. And then we had a yellow around lap 6 or so, and it bunched us all back up. I didn't get a great start, and Greg capitalized on it. So him, Nick, and Chris were all able to get by me pretty easy. It's when it gets that cold, the track gets really greasy, at least from my experience. So the top side was not really usable, at least from what I found. So once we got up to the top, we were just kind of trying to get back in line. And then I thought Chris, Nick, and I put on a good show. I know I gave Chris the bumper a couple times, but it wasn't anything malicious. He ran me down the track a couple times. It was just good, hard racing. And then, unfortunately, him and Nick had a run-in, which you'll see in the video. And then after that happened, we had a really good race with Nick. I don't know why, but my starts have been pretty bad this year. They were a lot better tonight than they have been this year, but we still need to get better at that aspect. Hats off to Greg. He ran a really good race, and Nick as well. We definitely put on a good show for the fans, and hopefully you guys enjoyed watching that too. So hopefully nobody has any hurt feelings, and it was just good, hard racing. That's kind of everything that I've ever seen racing. We just put on a good show. Everybody I've talked to has said that it was a really good race to watch, and I can't wait to get back out there with those guys again. So I think our next race is September 9th at Birch Run, and I'm really happy with this car. Thank you to Miller Performance. They hooked us up with some new setup stuff this week, and it really paid off. So I definitely, if you're looking for a setup, contact Zach at MPM and they'll hook you up. Again, thank you to all our sponsors: Fighting Your Bullets and Docks, City Electric Supply, Bunch Electric, Oasis Heating and Cooling, Victory Fuel, the Emmons family, Race One Wraps, everybody on this car. There's so many people and friends, and my wife. My wife is probably the #1 person behind this race team. If it weren't for her, we would not be able to do what we do. So I love her. I appreciate everything she does for us, especially when we go out and have race days. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.